What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Uncaged podcast. If you don't know, this channel is all about the journey to the top 1% and how do we get there. It's by becoming 1% better daily. Ironically enough, a couple of weeks ago, you saw a very similar video to this on the podcast channel. That is the first time that's ever happened. First time it's ever looked like this. First time it's ever been, not in the studio. And yet here I am a couple weeks later doing one. And it's almost a similar conversation. The one last time, we had to basically get out of our house because of the threat of the two hurricanes that hit back to back. So we actually evacuated. We just didn't want to take chances on it. And it was cool because there's a freedom there in living our dream life or having these businesses that we have that allow us the opportunity to do so. Well, today's going to be somewhat similar in the fashion of the discussion, but also it's about making decisions that are in line with your dream life, that allow you to not have stressful irritations in your life. I've admitted it previously, probably multiple times, that I am more of a perfectionist. I will wait around until the right time, the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, the perfect this, the perfect that. And in reality, that perfect opportunity never comes. It's the immediate action over the perfect procrastination, right? Which is something that we talk about a lot in Uncaged. And so for me, I was going back through some of the video, and I want to take extreme ownership here that it is 100% my fault that I did not pre-record content in preparation for all the travel with the quarterly retreat last week in Lexington, as well as now being in Tennessee for Thanksgiving. So it's my fault. But in that sense, yes, that happened. I wanted to alleviate the stress from myself of forcing myself into this perfect hole that is this super curated content, right? Because like I was saying, I was going through all my content previously to see what I could take from pre-recorded stuff that we've done, piece it together and create a podcast for this episode that's dropping on Thanksgiving, or day after Thanksgiving. And so I made a decision to just shoot this video because I wanted to take the power away of my own mind feeling guilty or whatever the case was, that I did not do the work to have a perfectly curated video recorded for you guys in the studio. And what I mean by that is I want to build a business and I want to build a dream life where I don't have to feel like I have to do anything, right? Because my thing is I want to do this stuff. I want to put out content. I want to help bring information like this to other members' lives, whether that's in the free group or the VIP group or what, is I want to do that. And I don't want to create a business or an organization or anything of the sort that forces me to have to do the things that I want to do, which is, the thing is, and this is where the devil's advocacy will come in, is, consistency is king. Consistency is what you want to focus on, which is why I'm doing this video. I was going to get the video done either way, but the piece that I had to let go of is not everything has to be perfectly curated. Not everything has to be done in a studio and professionally edited and this, that, whatever. So now here I am recording this content right now, albeit extreme ownership. It's my fault that I didn't get it recorded. But the life that I want to live, the business that I wanted to create here, is not one where I have to feel so responsible on doing things that I don't necessarily want to do. I missed the recording. I didn't get it done. That is my fault. But here we are now. So now we had a couple of options, and I wanted to take the option of least resistance, I guess you would say. But it created like an emotional reaction in my mind. Like it gave me guilt. Like I felt guilty for not remembering to record an episode before we left, or feel guilty. Well, Zach, you should have months and months and months worth of content ready and available. And you're right, probably should. But here I am now doing what I have to do with the cards that have been dealt. And so now putting this piece of value out, and I don't know who this is going to affect. I don't know how it's going to affect them. My hope is that if you are in the process of trying to make a transition professionally and you're moving towards something that allows you to be more in line with your dream life and your dream goals, right? That top dream life scenario on your whiteboard scenario. Like whatever that is, if it's in alignment with that, like it's time to rip the Band-Aid off, because the longer you put that off, the longer it's going to, eat at you, and the more it's going to hold you back from truly feeling like you are living your dream life. And so I have my own responsibilities. I'm not going to just stop putting out studio content, because that's what I do. I do like it, and I do care about it. But with Uncaged and Heather and my dream life, traveling is a huge piece of it. Having the freedom to be able to spend time with our family. Be able to travel to the retreats. That's my dream life. That trumps my thought process and the value that I place on, studio curated content. I'm a firm believer. I believe too many content creators start to get into an excuse where it's if you started with high quality content and then you started getting lazy, right? Laziness allows you to be like, oh, well, it's the value of the content that's in the video that's what really matters. Yes, it is. But you set a standard, you don't get to go below that. And so I want to make sure that I am communicating my standards correctly to this channel, to the people that follow me, because I am not perfect. Should I have recorded the video? Yes. Should I have months worth of, content already created? Arguably, yes. I say arguably because I do like the fact that the content that we put out is very, very much based on the conversations and the communication that we have on our roundtable calls, in our expert calls, inside the group chats with the VIP members. So that way, either A, I can regurgitate information that has been shared that has helped men's lives for other men out there that are looking for the same solutions to the exact same problems. But then also it be a powerful resource for the guys inside of VIP that if there was a topic that was discussed on a roundtable call, on an expert call, on an onboarding call, on one of my calls with one of the free group members, or whatever the case is, that they can then take this episode or the next episode or whatever and literally put some action behind it. And so part of this too, I literally just got off an onboarding call with one of the VIP members. Actually, in fact, one of the OG VIP members that was a member before we had initiated onboarding calls in the standard operating procedures for VIP. And I was reiterating the fact that very, very, very much so, Heather and I abide by the whiteboard scenario. We have our dream life written out. We know what our options were or are. And obviously we have chosen one of those verticals. If you've gone through the whiteboard scenario in the 30-day challenge, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, let myself or any VIP member know. We'll get you access to it. But part of that whiteboard scenario is we wrote down all of the tasks that we needed to accomplish to get us to that dream life. And so for us, there's now no more emotion when it comes to making decisions on what we have to do, because we have given ourselves a roadmap to do so. And so I'm explaining this to one of the VIP members today, and it literally hit me that my dream for Uncaged is to be able to travel the world, spend time with friends and family, being able to impact them, figuring out what it is that they need, how they need help with it, who they need access to, what, information or education are they missing, what introductions or referrals are they missing, what inspiration and motivation do they need, like what is this stuff, and then pointing them in the right direction. Like, I love helping people, but part of me getting to that dream life is letting go of this idea that everything's going to be perfect all the time, right? And so that's where the immediate action over the perfect procrastination comes, because the old me would have sat in there for hours and pieced together curated content to create this episode, whereas I realized that, like, I'm living my dream life right now. Like, I just spent a week in Lexington with all the VIP members. I'm spending a week with family now, getting to celebrate each other and celebrate Thanksgiving and the things that we're thankful for. And this being one of them is, like, starting to understand that because I have this whiteboard scenario done, this is a step in the right direction of understanding that, like, not everything's always going to be perfect. For those of you who travel a lot, y'all know that. So this episode really is mostly just a reminder to myself that, like, I have to really think about what I do and why I do it, because, like I said, these are things I want to do. I want to put out content on this channel. It's not something that's, like, egotistical. It's not that I want everyone to look at me. It's the Anti-Guru Club. I've got a number that I want to hit for subscribers and for average view count on these that I can't wait to where this full-time channel is dedicated to this type of content, but it's an open conversation between myself and another VIP member. I want to put these guys on the platform. I want to put these guys on a pedestal. These guys have grown a lot. They spend a ton of time, learning and advocating for themselves as, like, what it means to be a man in a world that is lacking men. It's declining fastly. Like, this is the type of people that I want to put a spotlight on and hear their personal testimonies, but we got to get there first. And, so for me, this episode, I don't know who it's going to impact, but there's definitely someone that's listening to this right now that either A, hasn't done their whiteboard scenario, so go through the 30-day challenge, but B, has done it but isn't following it, because it's really easy to get sucked back into the day-to-day. Shit goes south, curveballs get thrown, family gets interrupted, employees or coworkers throw a wrench in the plan, whatever the case is, and you recluse back to, like, what's easiest or what your standard go-to is. And so for me, my standard go-to is, like, no, it's got to be curated content. It has to be perfect. It has to be recorded in a studio. It's got to have perfect lighting. It has to have backlighting. It has to have a good microphone. It has to do this, do that, good camera setup. And albeit I still believe in a lot of that. And, I do care about the quality of content, not only in the value of the information being shared, but the production level itself. Like, I care about that because I want people to take it as seriously as it deserves. And a lot of that, in my opinion, it could be self-limiting belief, is having good quality content. People, they take you as serious as they assume that you are, right? And so, albeit, this has only ever happened one time, and that was due to an emergency situation. And we could sit here and argue all day long too, like, you should have had more episodes pre-recorded. Okay, yeah, maybe you're right. But also, like, I believe everything happens for a reason. I believe that this episode was supposed to happen, for myself, to show myself that this is a step for me personally to let go of this, like, perfect ideal image of what, perfection looks like, and gets me a step closer to understanding that, like, I'm building my dream job. I'm building my dream company right now, where I get to travel and do whatever I want and live I don't want to say carefree, but like I get to like sit back and appreciate things and take it in. And like I preach that so much, but yet I've been putting so much pressure on myself to show up perfect because, you know, I am so convicted about like making sure people understand that, you know, I do practice what I preach. But then also it gave me a good reflection that like maybe I'm not practicing what I preach by wanting everything to be perfect, right? Perfect procrastination, you know, or immediate action over perfect procrastination. So, you know, is there a learning lesson here? Yep. I should probably have some episodes that are recorded for situations like this that come up that are a part of me living my dream life, which is having the flexibility to travel and spend time. I mean, I'm going to have dinner tonight with 2 VIP members and their families. You know, like I'm living my dream life. So I'm not upset about this content. I'm not upset about what I'm doing. The old me would have, but I've now realized that I'm stepping into these roles and these responsibilities of my dream life and actively living them, because that was part of, you know, the call earlier with one of the VIP members is, you know, it was a great conversation because we had to put some things in perspective on like, what does dream life really mean? Because obviously it's going to be different for everyone. There's going to be different levels of success. And part of the conversation that we had, based on, I'm not going to name him because there is some sensitive information about like his relationship with his bosses and the company that they run, you know, but, you know, we had to make the conversation that there's a difference between rich people and wealthy people, you know, because the people that he worked for, they're just rich, bro. They're not wealthy. I've interacted with them. We've done business with them. And throughout that process, I could tell that he's on a much higher trajectory as a person to be a wealthier person. Because does money matter? Yes, money matters. Again, part of the conversation we had was, you know, there's a different level of responsibility we acquire when we talk about money, especially inside of Uncaged. And I'm someone that's very polarizing, both pro and con money for specific things, but it's more about wealth. Like, where do you drive wealth from? And again, me out here trying to build my dream life and doing things that are in alignment with my dream life is making me a wealthier person right now. How would recording this video, not in the studio, make me wealthy? My net wealth is growing because I'm getting closer to my dream life. Who knows? Maybe someone will watch this video and say that it's time for them to join the VIP program and they'll sign up. Maybe. That would make me richer, but making me wealthier is creating a life that I don't have to run away from. And so we were discussing the responsibility and the respect and the relationship that we have on money. Because for me, I'm a fan of the Rolexes and the APs and the Lamborghinis and Ferraris. I'm a fan for that. Go buy that if that makes you wealthier. It's not a flex for how rich you are, but it should be something that makes you wealthy. I'm a car head. I'm a gearhead. I love that shit. I've loved cars since I was born. Like this, I've always known that I was going to be obsessed with vehicles, whatever that looks like. Whether that's a 68 Lincoln Continental or a 2024 Revolto, 2025 Revolto, whatever that is. I knew that I was going to be involved in that shit. And so I'm a fan with buying the things that make you happy, that add to your net wealth, not your net worth, right? And I am also an advocate of being able to sit back with very little and be thankful for where you are and where you've come from, and appreciate the life that you have, and have respect on the level of wealth that you've created currently. But then also, I know how important it is to have money for when cars break down or people have to go to the hospital or this or that, and the way it creates this safety net of comfort and security. Like, I'm a fan of that. I literally, on that cause, I was a different person as soon as I got life insurance on myself and the girls. Like something clicked in me. I became wealthier because I woke up differently. I went to bed differently. I walked differently. I have a deeper sense of security now inside of my life because I know that my girls are taken care of no matter what happens to me, right? But then also, I love that we have a relationship that we do where we came from nothing, we built a whole lot of something, and then we started over the right way on the right foundations with the right mindset and with the same principles and being like-minded and creating a culture and an environment around us, an ecosystem of people that were like-minded and understood the mission and the goals that we have and the dream life that we're trying to create. And so for me, I understand the comfort in being able to be quiet and understanding true internal wealth. Again, we're not talking about riches here. But also, I understand and respect the value of wanting more out of life, about being a high achiever and wanting to be the best that you can, not only for yourself, but your family and all those that are around you, like the actual ability to support things. But it all comes back down to, what do you really consider being wealthy? What are you really doing to create a dream life? And if it is on your dream life, on your whiteboard scenario, if it is something that you believe will immediately take that weight off your shoulders, remove the guilt, take the pressure off, whatever that looks like, why are we not moving to actively doing it sooner than later? Why put it off? Why are we adding so much unnecessary stress and anxiety in our lives? Like, why can we not say, if this is going to move us closer to the thoughts, the feelings, the life that we want to live? Because I guarantee you, no one wants to live a stressful life. No one wants to live an anxious life, which is what I was doing to myself by wanting to go record, skim through all my shit, all my previously recorded content, find information that hasn't been heard yet or hasn't been, put out there, making sure it's all nice and pretty and it's, curated and it's professional and the production value's high. I was adding stress to my life for doing that. And that's not on my way to living my dream life. That was not something that was going to get me closer. So having that whiteboard scenario written out, and not only myself, but with my wife and us having an understanding of what we were building and where we were going, this allows us to make decisions like this. She's like, why don't you just go do it, bro? Go do it. So here I am, because this gets me this right here. I mean, come on, like, life ain't bad, Zack. Why put added unwanted stress and anxiety on your life? Why do that to you? I didn't go shave. I didn't go put on a branded shirt. Like, I didn't want to add that level of stress. Like, we're here. It's Thanksgiving. I've been spending a lot of time reflecting on the things that I'm thankful for. And I'm thankful because I get to do this for you guys. I get to do this with you guys. I get to share a life with the VIP guys where we talk all day, every day in the group chat. We talk weekly on roundtable calls. We talk weekly on expert calls. Roundtable call before last, we had to go completely off script. We were going to do a recap of the retreat with all the members that came, but there was a guy there. It was ironic that he showed up and it was just me and him, 10 minutes before everyone logged on. He's like, man, the last few weeks I've been wanting to, open my mouth, but we were pouring into other guys. I didn't want to take time away from him. He's like, but I got a whole list of shit to talk about. This is the first time in history that we've ever spent an entire roundtable call on one person, helping one person change their life. And it felt good. So we pushed off, the recap of the roundtable, the recap of the retreat. But we were able to do that. And then, so we moved to yesterday. We did the recap of the retreat. So we spent, the first 30 minutes, 45 minutes recapping the retreat. What are our number one big takeaways from all the members that came? What did you learn? How can we take that information that we acquired there? How did we apply it in our life now in a week and a half? And how can we share this information with our other brothers so that they can take it and apply it to their life? Well, so we spent 30, 45 minutes doing that. Well, we had to break into a couple of guys that needed some help. We had a guy with 7 minutes left, unmuted, and told us he was going through a divorce and was talking about all the things that have brought him to this decision and what's going on, and how either Uncaged has helped or what we can do to help him, support him, which then led someone else unmuting and saying that he woke up that morning and was like, dude, I can't do this forever with my wife, right? And going through these just super hard emotions. We ended up going an hour and a half, or 30 minutes longer. So we spent an hour and a half on the call together. But the guys came together. It wasn't perfect. It didn't fall in line with like the idea that we typically follow, but it was something that we needed to do. But it tracked to be, in line with what our dream lives and our dream goals for Uncaged looks like. And because of that, real life people are being changed, are learning, are growing, are coming together, and are getting real life answers to things. So like, for me, this content that I'm shooting right now, it was a huge step in the right direction, because again, it just gets me that much closer to what I'm doing. So I don't know who you are, who heard this, that needed to hear it. Whatever this decision is that you're facing, where you need to say fuck yes, because it's going to get you closer to your dream life. It might not be easy. You might take a pay cut. It might be hard. You might lose something that you care about. But if it's not getting you closer to your dream life, it's holding you back. So what can we do together to come together, lock arms, take a step closer to our dream life? Guys, I hope this meant something to you. I hope that you could take something out of this and apply it to either yourself or share it with someone else. We're on a mission here to get information like this in front of as many men as possible. If you got any questions about VIP, you got any questions about how to be involved with Uncaged anymore, reach out to myself, drop a comment on this video, hit up any of the pack leaders, whatever you got to do. We're here for you. We love you guys, and we'll see you next time.